Welcome, Miller's Monsters, and I'm Mr. Beelzebub. This is Count Luna Owl. That is Edgar P. the Scully, and I'm going to tell you a couple campfire stories today. And a couple of these are from paranormal.lovetoknow.com. And these are some short campfire stories, and this first one is The Ghost at the Piano. And it's about a girl named Felicia, who just got done from a concert and had a 4-hour drive to Seattle. And the place she was staying, at 3 a.m. in the morning, she's hearing piano music. Okay, downstairs, Beethoven's Sonata. Oh boy, I'm sure my piano friend will be getting me on that one now, won't you? But she was irritated for long enough, and she got out of bed and went downstairs to see who was playing the piano this ungodly hour. And she got to the main hallway of the conservatory, and she froze there. What she saw was a man, obviously, playing the piano. And he was handsome at the piano. He didn't seem quite of this era, though. He had a vintage tuxedo and his hair slicked back. And he even had a glass of gin on the piano. And she thought maybe that was an actor, playing a character. So without a sound from Felicia, the man suddenly looked up as though he had expected to see her and said, "Hello, Felicia. I've been waiting for you, and for quite some time." So she was mesmerized. She couldn't move, and looking into his deep black eyes, she felt compelled to move toward the piano. And as she did, the man said, "You and I have a duet to play. Felicia, come sit down on the bench beside me." And again, she found she couldn't resist the man's command, and she slowly sank onto the bench next to the man, and a sudden shiver overtook her from a chill in the air. The man then said, "Put your fingers on the keys, Felicia." And she followed his commands, and it seemed like her hands weren't her own, and they reached the keyboard, and she settled there waiting for his next command. And he said, "Now play the tune." And Felicia hesitated, but, her hands felt like they weren't her own anymore. And he said, "You know the tune." And they began to play the sonata that had drawn her downstairs. And then both figures then slowly faded out of sight. And that was the last time anyone ever saw Felicia. It turned out to be her final performance. So I hope you like that short story, and I have a couple more for you right after you take a moment and hit the subscribe, hit the like button, ring that bell, set yourself up for notifications so you don't miss another scary episode. And please tell your friends to like and subscribe as well. I thank you in advance. So the second one I'm going to tell you about, right after I tell you about it, you hear the boom booms over there. Yep, they're firing off the boom booms for 4th of July. So far she's not barking. So if she breaks out into barking, you know what happened. Frankie, he's scared. He's the 100-pound dog. Come a little over this way so they can see your face, dear. Thank you. And excuse me, swallowed some of my makeup. Thank you, Sarah. So anyways, behind the tombstone. So these two gentlemen go into an old, unkept graveyard. And they find an old grave with the tombstone on it. It's, seen the worst for wear. It's crumbling a bit. And the one boy turns to the other and says, "Okay, go ahead, turn it on, let's begin." And so the other person turns on a recorder. maybe a spirit box. I don't know when this was written. Maybe they didn't have it back then. But from the story, and you'll see, it sounds like a spirit box. And it's not. It's a boom box. No, it's not that either. It's a recorder. Mr. Beelzebub lost his mind there. So anyways, turn it on and let's begin. And they turn the recorder switch to on. And so they ask the first question, is there anyone with us tonight? And they don't hear anything, silence, except there's a slight scratch from somewhere behind the tombstone. And this didn't faze them, so they asked the next question, can you tell us your name? Again, there's only the sound of the scritch. So, desperate to get a response, they say, can you show yourself? And again, the same thing, scritch, nothing much going on there. And they ask again, are you afraid of us? And this time there's nothing. No scritch, not a sound. It's very quiet. And then the atmosphere suddenly got thick and malevolent. Oh, my English sucks. Neither young man noticed that a towering dark shadow rose up from behind the tombstone until it was too late. And the darkness swooped down on them, engulfed them. Neither one could see the other, and just as suddenly, Adam Mark and the black shadow vanished into the ground. The next morning, the old caretaker showed up, and he found the recorder laying on the ground, and he played it. And on the recorder, following the replies, he could hear a deep and menacing voice say, yes, I am always here. My name is never spoken by your kind, but is very old. I'll show myself, but it's the last thing you'll ever see. You are mine. So the keeper turns off the recorder, puts it in his pocket, picks up a few of the other things as other evidence that the boys were there, and he goes to the shed. He throws everything in the shed with the pile of all the other recorders he's found at the gravesite. Okay, so my final story I'm going to do from memory, so we'll see how that goes. A young lady moves into town. She's new to the town, and she's beautiful. And she wears a black a cloth around her neck, like they do, kind of like the goth thing. And she's never seen without it. And a young man, I'm sure there was men because she was a beautiful woman. A young man catches her and begins to court her. So this is going on for months, and it's going along well, and it's great, and they fall in love, and the parents approve of the courtship, although she has no family in the area. And they get married, and the family buys them a cottage. So they go out and they move into their cottage, and things are progressing nicely. They're still in love, and they having a great time. They're going out, they're working, doing everything. And then the man starts getting curious about the black ribbon. Thought of the name finally. It's a ribbon, black ribbon around her neck. And he inquires about it. She says, I'm not going to tell you why the black ribbon's there, and you're never to ask about it again. And so time goes on, and he gets curious, and he's just got to know. So one night when she was sleeping, he sneaks out of bed, goes to the sewing kit, and pulls out a pair of scissors, and gently places the scissors over the ribbon and cuts the ribbon. And the black ribbon falls off her neck, and her head rolls down the bed onto the floor in front of him. So, lesson learned, don't ever cut the ribbon. Okay? If they tell you don't touch the ribbon, you don't touch the ribbon. Alright? So you all have fun with your boom booms over there, and take a moment before you do and hit the subscribe, ring the bell, set yourself up for notifications, and please tell your friends to subscribe and like as well. And we are going to talk to you again later. Bye. Have a happy 4th.